Welcome to That's No Class. I'm Brian Baruman.
And I'm Morgan Darian.
Welcome back to the home of class. Thanks for being here with us. We finally did what a lot of you guys are still holding out on doing. We got rid of our pandemic exercise bike.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Literally gave it away.
Yeah, we did.
When we spent $1,000 on the thing. It's not a Peloton. We're not that rich.
You were so mad when it wasn't coming in the mail.
Well, we had to wait like 2-3 months for the thing.
Yeah,
as I'm sure you all did.
Yeah.
We enjoyed our time together, though.
Mm-hmm.
But now that time is done.
Goodbye.
We made one of Morgan's coworkers very happy.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I love it when I can give something away that, like, it kind of costs me a lot. But, like, if someone's really happy to receive it, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Like, we made their day.
Exactly.
And probably week.
Yeah.
We're out a couple hundo, but whatever. Back in the gym, baby. Who cares?
Back in the gym.
What's money?
Throwing some punches.
Yeah.
Lifting some weights.
We'll do that later after the show. But now let's get to some news.
Now here's the news.
Okay, so when I first heard about this story from you, I was picturing something very different. So the original story is that the girlfriend of Jeff Bezos is going to fly around in a rocket with an all-female crew.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But I was picturing her as a badass, like, pilot or something. Instead, I'm greeted by a picture of her in a little white dress wearing cowboy boots, which, you know, cute look.
They love
cute
cowboy
look.
boots. Him and her love them some boots.
But I was like wanting her to be like a fighter pilot wearing aviators, leading this group of women into space, right?
Why did you think she was a fighter
I don't know.
pilot?
That was just in my head like that. So when I saw this picture, I was like, what is this? The other problem I had in researching the story, by the way, there will be very little news right now. I'm just going to tell you my process. So the other problem is that at first I looked up the wrong thing on Google and I typed in all-female crew going to Mars because I thought you mentioned Mars.
That would be a much would be a much bigger story than going to the moon.
So I was like, oh my gosh, this random lady's going to Mars? What? But she's not going to Mars.
No.
That would be insane.
They're not even going to the moon.
So then I got sidetracked because there was a bunch of interesting stuff on why they're training a lot of women to go to Mars, saying that women are better equipped to handle the isolation of the long trip. They burn less calories than guys, so they wouldn't need as much food. And they're better at working together without being too competitive to be the leader.
Sounds like you went down a rabbit hole.
I really did.
That
And
was
it
not what the story was about.
Very interesting. So they're forming a lot of all-female crews, even though there's still dudes on some of the crews.
Yeah.
But then I ran across this article that somehow resurfaced, but was from like 2017, claiming that NASA was going to send only an all-female crew to Mars so that the astronauts couldn't have sex and produce a baby because they're worried what would happen to the baby under those conditions.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
Okay, so that really happened, but then it was kind of a joke. I think this lady was just joking about it, kind of. And then that article ends by describing how difficult it would be to even have sex in that environment. So I was giggling to myself, picturing people trying to connect, only to be whisked away from each other and like bonking their heads on the ceiling.
They just have to hold on to each other the
like
whole time.
really hard, very light movements.
Okay, so what can you
So
tell me about
anyway.
this actual all-female crew that I told you about?
Nothing. Because all this to say, these badass Mars crews are very cool. And this other lady, but it's cool for her. She's going to space. Very cool. Did not get any deets. Hopefully her Botox doesn't explode under the cabin pressure.
Morgan's like, I want this one. This one's mine. And this is what we get. All right.
I brought you the news.
Sorry, you never even said what the news was. I think.
did at the beginning.
Okay.
She's going
Who's she?
going in a rocket.
Bezos's partner.
Yes. I said it was his girlfriend.
Is that
I said it was Jeff Bezos' girlfriend is going around in a rocket ship with an all-female crew.
Blue Origin? She's going to be part of a Blue Origin crew. She's going to lead the crew.
What? Not all of us are professional news people, okay? I had the deets in there. It's just that I went a little bit wild on this one. Okay? What do you got?
All right. I thought you were going to be doing the serious story, and I was all excited to get to do the lighthearted story, but
I think it turns out that I'm not very good at the serious stories.
Now we know. Now we know. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, my story.
Okay.
So, you all might have heard that the Oscar nominations are out.
Yes.
Shout out to Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh,
I hope it wins all of it.
Come on.
And puts Hollywood on notice.
Yes.
But anyway.
So good.
Oscar season also means Razzie season.
Oh, I love Razzys season.
You don't know what the Razzies are. They're also known as the Golden Raspberries. They're basically the anti-Oscars. They are the awards for the worst in film. And I think they're always good for a laugh. My personal favorite every year is the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that was
Bruce
a
Willis
thing.
got it last year, I'm pretty sure. But this year they're facing some backlash.
Oh, why?
The reason is they've nominated a 12-year-old girl in the worst actress category.
No, you can't do that.
Which is mean.
That is so mean and horrible. She's 12.
So her name...
You can't freaking do that.
It's messed up. It's messed up.
What freaking turd holes?
Her name is Ryan Kira Armstrong. She
Okay.
starred in a movie called Firestarter. Came out last year. It seems to be about a girl who has pyrokinetic powers.
Okay.
Meaning she can start fires with her mind.
Sure. As one does.
Blow things up, shoot
Dope.
flames.
Down.
I say that because this is the level of film that we're dealing with
Why
here.
would you choose a film that freaking no one has seen, too? That is so mean.
I mean, to single out this girl in this low-rent movie is a wild choice, but the backlash has been swift.
Good.
So people are saying that it's horrible, which it is.
Yeah, it's stupid.
This poor girl, she's just trying to act.
Just like, what the hell, man?
And now her name will forever be associated with this on the internet.
Maybe she'll get something
Which
out of
is
it. Maybe
awful.
someone will take
Maybe-
pity on her.
Yeah,
and be
maybe
like,
someone
"Let
will
me
give her a great
resurrect
role.
you."
Yeah, in a great movie. But the Razzies did apologize, and they say that they have removed her name from the ballot,
Okay.
and they will no longer nominate people under 18 years old for their
Hello.
awards.
Hello. Don't do anything to anyone under 18, okay? Just stay away.
Yeah, it's rough. I hope she's okay, and I hope she
so
keeps.
Too. God,
hope she
my
keeps
heart.
on acting.
Can you imagine? You're 12.
It would be
God.
really awful.
That poor kid.
But the Razzies are 100% right on the Tom Hanks nomination for
I knew
Elvis.
you were gonna talk about
So bad. Tom Hanks, take a rest. Because, I have my own awards. It's called the Steve Carell Award.
Yes.
And you're the only nominee I got. So take a couple years off, please. All right. When we come back,
God.
a magic book I found has become the inspiration for a new segment. And our scale of joy got a little bit of an adjustment.
Oh, nice.
Thanks so much for being here with us. I would never nominate you guys for Razzys. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to That's No Class, the show where we get everything right 100% of the time. Yeah, 100%. Brian found a free book on our building's community giveaway table, and it's called 2,201 Fascinating Facts, published in 1983. As you can already tell, it's a real find. So we're introducing a new segment called 100% Facts.
Is that a fact?
100%.
No, it's not a fact. It's just what I heard. That's just what I heard.
Okay, so we can all share in these truths. What do you got for us?
All right. First fact
Okay.
ever
Okay.
on our show. One of Napoleon's drinking cups was made from the skull of the famous Italian adventurer Cagliostro.
How's that possible?
Okay, so this fact has three parts to it.
Okay.
Napoleon,
Mm-hmm.
Cagliostro,
Okay.
and the skull cup.
All right.
So, did my research.
Okay.
Use my journalistic skills. This is what I have found.
Dove deep.
First on the three facts,
Okay.
or the three subjects. Napoleon, if you don't know, was the emperor of France. He came to power during the French Revolution, commanded France's armies, fought in wars all over Europe. These are called the Napoleonic Wars.
Right.
Cagliostro, already not really an adventurer from what I could read. This term adventurer sounds pretty grandiose, almost Marco Polo. No. From everything that I've been able to find, Cagliostro was, by most accounts, just kind of a weirdo and a con man who claimed he could do all kinds of things like occult stuff. And eventually he got turned into the Inquisition and died in prison in 1795.
Okay.
Which was right around the time that Napoleon was doing these big military campaigns across Europe. Now, the cup. Apparently, I was imagining a skull, like vertical,
yeah, I'm
upright.
like, how can it hold liquid?
How would it? You got eye holes, you've got spinal cord hole, but apparently the
Hold
way that it's
one
done,
sip.
yeah, real quick, you drink it
Just
real
a
fast.
shot.
But apparently the way that it's done, according to Wikipedia, is surprisingly common.
What?
The skull in olden times,
Oldie time.
what you do is you actually remove the top part of the skull and you just flip it upside down and you use the top part of the skull. It's more like a dish than a cup.
So a bowl.
It's kind of a bowl, but
That's weird.
and it's shallow, but it was common. I shouldn't say common.
Why?
But, it was done in Asia, and there were, like, medieval kings and stuff who had these skull cups, from their enemies and from people and stuff like that. Like, you kill a person, you take their thing and whatever, and there you go.
Okay.
Okay. So, but here's the thing. I found so little about this. It's been 40 years, and I know some things get lost, but
Yeah.
some things fade away. Kids these days don't know about the cartoons that I grew up with. But you would think that two relatively famous figures, there would be some sort of information. I
Yeah.
found basically nothing. The only nugget of information that I could find was a passing reference in a review of a book that was a biography on Cagliostro published in 2004.
Okay.
And it said that it wasn't Napoleon that drank from the skull cup, but it was his soldiers. They had been doing a military campaign, and it says they were in the Italian town of Rimini, where Cagliostro was buried.
Okay.
And it says that they dug up his body and then drank wine from his skull to toast and hope for the end of the Catholic Church, which Cagliostro had become a symbol of because it was the Inquisition that jailed him and killed him.
All right.
So you can see how Napoleon would be connected to this kind of fact.
Yeah.
Like there is a connection
You
there.
can see it, yeah.
But that's all that I could find.
Okay, so is this a fact, do you think? What is your verdict?
My verdict is I'm going to say this is a myth.
Okay.
So maybe somebody drank from that skull.
Yeah.
But I'm not confident saying that it was Napoleon.
Right.
And I'm totally skeptical of the image that we all got with that of Napoleon having this skull chilling like on his mini bar
Yeah.
where he could grab it at hand
At any moment.
and have some wine and some cheese.
Weird.
But
Interesting.
I would love to hear from maybe a real historian who had any knowledge about this at all. Because like I said,
Yeah.
it was real sparse. This whole thing was real
It is
sparse.
a really random fact, so
But it sounds so
Maybe.
kind of cool.
yeah, like you feel like more people would know about it.
Yeah, you would think that it would be a bigger
First of all,
footnote in history.
I didn't even know that there were skull cups in general, so I
Didn't
mean,
either.
maybe it is out there.
Certainly learned a lot
Yeah.
reading about all this kind of stuff, but could not verify this particular fact.
Strange. Okay. All right. Very
Yeah.
cool.
So,
Thank you.
but I do want to give a shout out to Mr. Facts on Twitter, who
Okay.
also tried to bring this particular fact to the world's attention back in 2011. The account has been dormant this entire time, but we see you, Mr. Facts. We
Mr.
see
Facts.
you.
All right. I like it. All right. Next up, we check in on our scale of joy, and later our no class picks of the week. Stay factual out there. We'll be right back.
Stay factual.
You know, strive it.
Welcome back. A few weeks ago, we told you about our mental states and how fragile they can feel sometimes, especially when we find ourselves doing things we don't like or things we got suckered into by internet marketing that we ended up hating.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit and some things have happened, and we wanted to give you all an update on our segment we like to call Scale of Joy.
Happy, happy, joy, joy.
I hope you're happy, you idiot.
All right. Well, when you and I came up with this concept, I told you that I had a pretty firm grip on my scale.
Mm-hmm.
Like out of 10, 10 being euphoria and 0 being end times, the lowest I could ever get was a 5.
Okay.
And I've actually been lower than a 5, but not since I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And never actually down to a 5 since we've been together.
All right.
We just have a great life, and I'm aware of it. I'm super aware. So the lowest I'd been, I would say, was probably a 6. But
Okay.
I do think that I was actually at a 5 before the new year.
Oh, no.
But anyway, we'll get to
Okay.
that. But we didn't get to check in with you last time, so I want to
Yeah.
know, how is your joy?
Okay. So for my scale of joy, my little meter or whatever is inching higher and higher as each day passes.
Awesome.
The dread of going to work usually dampens my scale of joy each week, but all these little things have been moving my scale up. Like, I've been so good at food prep 2 weeks in a row, and I started back up at my boxing gym, and my classes and teachers for the new semester are freaking great.
Awesome.
And your mom got me a milk foamer for Christmas, so now I can make cappuccinos whenever I want. And the days are smelling like spring, and the house is clean. So my scale of joy is pretty rocking.
It sounds like the best series of events.
It's little things.
I'm jealous.
It's little things for me.
I'm jealous of your life.
Jealous of your life. All right. So how about you?
Okay, so what I realized was I was down to a 5. And
Okay.
now I'm going to demonstrate this visually,
Okay. I like this.
visually with a board
I
here.
really like
So I
Okay.
was... Here, how do we get this in the frame? I was
I
at...
think it's in.
Yeah. I
Wait,
think
yeah, go
I was,
down.
Where am I?
Okay.
Here?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll look
perfect.
over it. So I thought that I was at an 8 and was
Okay.
down to a 7, but I think I was actually at a 7, and after those heinous movies, I dropped down to a 5. So this is where I was before
Okay.
we left our house
All right.
to go on our vacation.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a rough time. I was just exhausted and burnt out from work,
Yeah.
and I have an insane schedule, and it was just so deep that when we
Yeah.
finally went on our vacation to visit your parents, I didn't get that boost in my mental state that I usually get.
Yeah, I know.
But I did notice it when we came back home.
Okay.
That feeling of dread that you just described,
Yeah.
it was gone,
All right.
and I was recharged.
Good.
So to make an update
Okay.
on my scale,
All
I
right.
have moved from 5 back up to 7.
Okay,
So,
not bad. That's not bad.
I've reversed course.
You know,
back to 7.
I'll take it.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
So what
All
about
right.
you? Where are you at?
I'm gonna
number-wise?
make a bold claim.
Ooh.
I think my scale of joy is pretty much near the highest number it could be, despite having to deal with the general
Whoa.
public at work. I'm astounded.
So where are you at?
I think I'm like an 8 or 9.
Whoa.
I know. It's the spring air. It just like really gets me going.
Look at you. Look at Morgan. Freaking
I'm doing
on
really good.
the 8 right
I
there.
mean, my scale of joy will obviously have some dips. They're coming
Sure.
for me,
Yeah,
as they
things
always
happen.
do. But
Things happen.
right now, I'm basking in the light.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
I think it's great. We're gonna leave this up because
I like this.
you're a model to us all for happiness.
Well, this week.
And what's
this week I am a
this
model.
week we'll see what happens next week.
So did you learn anything about your like joy scale?
Yes, I learned that I must take vacation,
Yeah.
and that I cannot go longer than a few months without taking a vacation, and that just needs to happen.
Yeah.
And even if I don't get paid for it, I'm a freelancer. I don't get paid for it. I need to take
Yeah.
it, and that
You
is
just have to do
it's
it.
just the most
Save up for
important.
it.
It's the most
Well,
important.
Yeah, I mean, like our society basically tells us not to ever do that
Yeah.
like once a year or whatever. It's crazy.
Once a year's not
Why
enough.
are you going to live your life like that? Like, obviously, I get those moments in life when you have to just work and work and work and, like, you have no choices. But if you can save up a little bit, even to, like, we have staycations sometimes where we just go to the beach and that's free. We just literally make our own food that we would have made for the week anyway and go to the beach. And, it needs to happen.
Do it for yourselves, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right.
Thanks
well,
for sharing.
Tell us all what is going on with you guys.
Yeah.
How you're feeling.
Yeah.
Morgan's having a killer week.
Damn.
All right. Well, when we come back, it's the gold standard. Your no class picks of the week. Stay with us. It's time to wind down the show now, bring it to a close the only proper way with our no class picks of the week.
Just a jealous,
No class. All right.
fuck.
No class pick. Too quick with my little finger.
Too quick. All right. What you got?
All right. Okay. So I started classes this week. And one of my teachers is from Louisiana. And so his last name originated from a version of the French language. But Louisiana is definitely its own thing, separate from all things French, obviously.
Yes.
But you can hear the influence and see the influence in the spelling of his name. Okay, so he introduces himself, and somehow we have someone in the class who is literally a French person. And after he's given a whole speech and having us correct him if he says our names wrong during roll call, she pipes up and says, "Actually, that's not how you say your last name. It's blah, blah, blah." And she says his name, how one would say it in the French language. And he's like, "You don't think I know how to say my own last name?" And like politely and jovially corrects her and is like, "Louisiana's not France, baby."
He said that?
He had some spice.
That's awesome.
Anyway, she did own it, which
Okay.
is a class move.
Yeah.
But it was pretty wild to witness her throwing caution to the wind and telling someone they don't know how to pronounce their own name correctly. It felt like this moment of mansplaining, but instead it was like French-splaining. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it
I
felt
do.
really wrong.
It sounds really wrong
It was wild.
to correct someone else on how
It
to
was
pronounce
so
their own freaking name.
wild.
That is super
That's
wild.
so bold.
That is like,
No, actually, I'm sorry.
excuse me.
Excuse me.
You were wrong.
You're wrong about your own name. So yeah, I thought that was really crazy.
I've never seen or experienced anything
Me
like that.
neither. Okay, what's yours?
Okay. So last week, I told my story about the steam room and
Right.
the dude pouring the water into it and breaking it and ruining it for us all.
Yes.
Well, somebody was listening, and that story has a new version of it. And in the new version of it, you and I were in the steam room a couple days ago. You had just left.
Oh, interesting.
Actually.
Okay, I
So
do
you
remember
weren't
this.
there.
Yeah, because I was like, I can't handle
Yeah,
this
you
right
couldn't
now.
take it. It was too much.
Gotta get out.
So you left.
Okay.
Guy comes in,
Uh-huh.
sits down real quick, and then all class pick of the week right here.
Okay.
All you got to do, turns to us and says, "Hey, do you guys mind if I add a little more steam?"
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Go right ahead. He walks up. I don't see a water bottle in his hand. And he walks right up. He doesn't even blow in it.
Uh-huh.
He just puts his hands over the grill and blocks the grill.
Yes.
And after 2 seconds, steam kicks on
Fine.
and it comes back in and he sits right down. And
I had a
I like
feeling.
sat up straighter and was like, "Thank you. Thank you. This is all that I've been asking for, is for people to do things the considerate way, care
Yeah.
about so class." Literally, I'm such a loser. I jumped when my
great.
time was up. I got up and I saluted him. I don't know why, but I got up and I was just like, "See you later, man," and I gave him a salute.
I'm dead. I'm dead. He's like, "This
He's like,
loser.
what the
Who is this weirdo?
yeah.
Oh my
All
God,
class.
I love
People
that.
who go all class
Oh
get
my
the
God,
salute
you
from
get a
me, all right?
salute? Yeah, that's really funny.
All right.
Well, now we can tell people. We can just
Yeah.
be like, just cover it.
Yeah, and that was it was great because now it never occurred to me.
That's
even.
so funny.
Super cool. Super cool. It's
I
going to
love
change
that.
the world. And now I'm going to say that to
Change
people and
the
be like,
world.
you know, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Just put your hand over it.
Yep.
It's all good. It's
Saloosh.
all good.
Love it.
Super great.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
All right, everybody. That is our show. Thanks so much for being here and hanging with us. Let us know who you think deserves a Razzie. Tell us about your scale of joy. And as always, we want your no class picks.
Yeah.
We would love to have them on the show. Twitter @thatsnoclass, Instagram @thatsnoclass, email us at thatsnoclass@gmail.com. Call our voicemail 877-7-NO-CLASS. We'd love to hear from you guys. We love that you listen. Thank you so much. You guys are the best.
Stay classy.
Stay classy.